Good morning, everybody. I'm particularly happy to be here with all of you, although only via video, on the occasion of the launch of this project, which is the project on combating disparities in access to inclusive education in Portugal, Italy, and Spain. We all probably know the famous words of Nelson Mandela when he said that education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. And they are the most appropriate words here, in particular when we look at the content of the project and at the circumstances we are in. Let me stress the word change, as this has impacted us so much and in so many ways in the last few years. We have experienced change in many terms, from the climate crisis to the pandemic and to the war at our very border. All these circumstances have obliged us to adapt, to find new ways. New ways to relate to the environment, for example, or to relate to any other issues. Our values have been shaken. Our long-standing values, such as peace and security, have been tested. But in order to deal with change, what we need are strong skills and coping mechanisms. This is exactly where education, and in particular inclusive education, plays a fundamental role. Education is the engine that puts things in motion and is one of the strongest enablers for change. Fair and equitable access to education and vocational training is a basic right that is enshrined in the EU Charter of Fundamental Rights. It's also a building block of the European pillar of our social rights. School education can play a crucial role in promoting inclusive, fairer and more prosperous societies and economies. It helps all children and young people to develop knowledge, skills, and attitude necessary to succeed in life. Schools education also encourages young people to become active, responsible, resilient, and, in a word, engaged individuals who continue to learn throughout their lives. Education systems must be truly equitable and inclusive, and ensure that all learners have a chance to reach their potential, irrespective of their personal circumstances, family, cultural, and socio-economic background. However, we know that in practice, disparities persist. Despite the importance of basic skills, in the European Union, 1 in 5 of the 15-year-old still does not possess sufficient competencies in reading, in mathematics, or science. Early leavers from education and training represent about 10% of the young people in the European Union. According to the EU Social Scoreboard and to the PISA indicator, children from disadvantaged socioeconomic and migrant backgrounds achieve poorer educational outcomes and experience more discrimination than children from wealthy families. They have the highest rate of school dropout and the least access to higher education and vocational education and training. Moreover, very few educational systems are prepared to be fully inclusive and adapted to children with disability. That is why I was particularly happy supporting this joint initiative, a joint initiative of Spain, Portugal, and Italy. The project as it stands is certainly very ambitious, and it intends to take stock of all barriers hindering inclusive education in the 3 member states and, most importantly, to propose measures tailored to each national context to address those barriers and to render the education system more inclusive and more qualitative. It is also ambitious as it gathers around the table not only 3 countries, but a broad range of stakeholders, as well as 14 regions for the 3 participant countries. I'm sure that this regional perspective will give even more depth and accuracy to the analysis and to the proposed reform. Reforms and regional policy, as you know very well, is exactly the mandate of my Commissioner, Elisa Ferreira. This project complements the support offered so far to the 3 participant member states. Throughout previous projects, we have helped Portugal promoting quality assurance in its vocational education and training, designing a national plan and an implementation strategy for adult literacies, establishing learning communities in educational areas of priority intervention, and designing a system in monitoring the implementation of the law on inclusive education. We have also supported Spain to improve the quality of its dual vocational education and training, to design a system for the identification, the evaluation, and the recognition of basic competencies in adults, to build a roadmap to foster cooperation between universities, research, and businesses, and to tackle early school leavings. Also, we have been supporting and we are supporting Italy in improving the recognition of competencies and development of the individual learning pathways by the provincial centers for adult education, and reinforcing the knowledge exchange and collaboration between universities and society. The cooperation with all three member states has been so far exemplary, and I trust this will also be the case in the current project and in the future. All these projects have taught us a few important lessons. Let me summarize three for us today. First, effective inclusive education policy requires a very solid legislative and strategic framework, which has been discussed, agreed, and implemented by all interested stakeholders. Second, it requires also a strong political ownership and a firm commitment from all the actors involved, starting from the national ministries to the regional bodies, community structures, parents, and educators to ensure sustainability of the reform. Third, it requires also adequate resources, both in financial and in human terms, meaning people who truly believe in the values of inclusiveness and fairness. I'm therefore very confident that with the help of the competent team of the European Agencies for Special Needs and Inclusive Education, with whom we have greatly and very well cooperated in the past, this project will become a landmark in inclusive quality education that will benefit other interested member states. As we all know, President Ursula von der Leyen declared 2023 the Year of Skills, and we are ready to engage for the Year of Skills under the Youth First flagship. I wish all of you a great day and a productive event. Thank you very much.